we go to the Back to the Future, and the Back to the Future asked, what are the roles that you identify with as part of making you you? And we gave examples like a significant other, a friend, a wife, a grandfather, grandmother, a professional, a salesperson, a doctor, a nurse, etc. So if you had to name some of your roles that makes you an identity, what would those be? Pharmacist. Salesperson.
Role model. I like that.
One.
Yeah.
Coach. And there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And the reason that we wanted that was under the Back to the Future card. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we talked about before is this whole sense of that happens with who am I now? Mm-hmm. So I had said I was a business person. I was a college teacher. I swear if anybody in here ever saw it, I don't know if they did, I threw the best football of any female ever. I was good, and all of those things I identified as me. And this disease took a lot of it away. Mm-hmm. I had to change careers. I actually wondered if I had to go back to school. And it just so happened that this need was present. And I said, I have the skill sets to run a business. I was a teacher. I can teach people. So maybe this is something that I'm going to give a shot at. I never woke up that year and said, I'm going to be the CEO of an international organization. Yeah. It just kind of happened. But it's like what Deb said. Mm-hmm. She became from swim team to swim manager. And that's something that is really hard too when you're a teenager, when you're 20, when you're 30, when you're 40, and all of a sudden your life, it completely changes, as you know. And it takes a while
it's
to adjust.
Mentally.
It definitely takes a while. So we wanted to put that in there just as a learning moment on just something to understand about if you meet anybody who have our diseases, that it's definitely a mental struggle as well, because there's a whole sense of self-loss or grieving, if you will, on what you used to do. So I know, gosh, what I'm going to debate, the softball. Yeah. So I used to play softball, and I missed it so much. And I was actually scared to go to the batting because I thought it was going to hurt my hands. And spondyloarthritis, what I have, attacks the spine. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was worried about, when you were with me, I was worried about my hands. And I had my stepson, and I wanted to show off. Like, I'm a really good batter. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot. This was last year. And I said, I haven't done this in 15 years. I'm gonna swing the bat. And oh my gosh, did I pay for it. We went to his game afterwards. I sat on the bleacher, and I actually couldn't get up. He had to help me to the car because my spine completely froze. And I was in bed for like 2 days after that. And that was a really big moment where I kind of had to come to terms with, all right, well, that part of my life is over. So I can't do that anymore. So again, I think just being a friend and a family member and a salesperson and a doctor and all of those roles, just understanding it's not only about the physical, but it's really about a lot of aspects of our life. And we also feel really guilty a lot because we want to be there for people, and we feel like we let people down a lot because we can't play on the team, or we can't go to the party or what have you. So
I figured, and there's certain things. I know my husband and I have been married for close to 26 years.
And by the way, they drove here from Wisconsin today to be here.
And I can say that I had a couple naps, like in the car, and when we got to the hotel, we crashed for a little bit too. But anyways, we've been married forever, and there was a lot he had to learn because I would push it, and he'd know that I'd pay for it. So he'd try to say, well, should you be doing that? Or, I mean, he obviously lets me make my own decisions, but he would always, and I'm like, if I pay for it tomorrow, I'll pay for it tomorrow, but I'm gonna have fun now. So, you just figure out what your limits are. I mean, having this disease for 30 some odd years, I mean, you just have to figure out what that is. And it is hard because, I mean, sometimes he doesn't want to have to see me struggling the next day or just staying in bed till 11 o'clock in the morning because I just don't want to get out of bed because I'm completely exhausted. But I certainly had fun at the parties that I do go to because I try not to let this get in my way. I plan for things too. I do kind of rest up for certain things and stuff like that because I know I have to.